All right, let's try it this way. Let's see what we get. My apologies, but for whatever reason, I cannot seem to stay connected to the internet via the hotspot on the cell phone. So let me move a few things around. Let me know, first of all, if you can hear me. Hopefully you can, because it's been a nightmare so far. Let me see if I can get a little stand here to get this thing up. It's trying to connect on my laptop right now while we're doing this. Oh, I'm quite liable to be my own guest here in a moment. All right, let's see if we can go over here and enter the studio. You can hear me?
You can hear me?
Cool, I'm gonna mute this. And then, see what we can do here. I don't know if I like that. Let's do this. All right, we should be good here now. And not. I don't know. You guys let me know. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Everything's good here? Just in case I've got the other camera here connected still so that I can switch back and forth if I have to. Oh gosh. Technology, right? You gotta love it. Gotta love it. Can't get angry at it. I mean, I can, but won't make any difference. I can't tell if you guys can hear me or not, but my screen keeps kind of blacking out here too. So I don't know what is going on. All right, I'm going to add me to stage here and see what that does. All right, we're back over to this camera again. Frustrating. Frustrating as all get out. All right, I need something to prop that up a bit. A couple of books or a stack or a carton of eggs would be awesome right now. Hang on a second here. I think at this point we're gonna give it up on the computer. And we're gonna close that there down too. Well, with a camera like this, I can walk you around the house a bit, can't I? Anyway, I'm Sean in Alaska. Normally my live streams go much better than they have been going in the last 2 weeks. And that's frustrating for me. It's kind of why I jumped on a little bit early, because I get so frustrated sometimes at technology. CB, nice curtains, must be cold. Actually, it's not that cold at all. Scott Hester, good to see you, brother. Awesome to see you here. Thank you very much for your generosity. I've been slacking and I haven't scanned the QR codes on the last round of stuff that you sent my way, but greatly appreciated. I mean, I was all set up here today, right? I had a ring light set up. I got it so that the Christmas tree was in the background. I blocked off the 2 windows so that, the lighting would be just right. You'd be able to see all the lights on the trees. Frustrating. Jim, what's happening? Good to see you, my friend. I'll show you guys what I got going for dinner. You want to check that out? Oh, I better put a handle on that. I got a chuck roast going in the pot today, because I didn't really feel like going out and trying to get the oven fired up in the trailer, which is what I usually use whenever I have to cook anything in an oven. Hopefully that'll only be for a couple of weeks more. I'm working on getting an actual oven and stove in here. Angie, what's up? Angie and Beamer checking in. Awesome. I wonder if I could do this. Well, look at that. I can go all the way back to the top here and say hello to everybody, but I won't say hello to everyone. I'll try and say hello to all of you as I see you. But I do see 65 Baja from California. Awesome to have you here today. Glad you could make it. I see Joseph here, rooting for his Philadelphia Eagles. I got to root for the Eagles too, only because my brother is a diehard Eagle fan. That division, the NFC, I'm a Vikings fan. That's all there is to it. That's all I've ever been. That's all I'll ever be. Which means I'm used to losing. Yeah, there's that part too. Everybody said the audio's good. You can hear me. You can see me. Heather, awesome that you can make it from a hot 30C and humid 61% Ipswich, Australia, Monday the 4th at 9:55 a.m. That's just awesome to me, the way that we have that time difference. And I don't know if I've ever told you, Heather, but I have a cousin that lives in Wollongong, New South Wales. But yeah, she moved from the United States to there, and she's an Aussie. Robout Outdoors, good to see you. Joseph, minus 22 is causing issues. We're not at minus 22 anymore. And I didn't get, I don't know. Let me see if I can do this. Let me kick my banner up here. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. We'll get the ticker going. It's 17 degrees this afternoon, or minus 8 C. Sunrise was at 9:49 a.m. Sunset will be at 4 p.m. for a total of 6 hours and 21 minutes of daylight, and snow is in the forecast for the next 10 days. That doesn't mean we're going to have snow for the next 10 days. That just means it's in the forecast, because in Alaska, you could have no snow in the forecast at all and get 2 feet, or you could have a 90% chance of snow and the temperature goes to 45 degrees. It's crazy. Crazy. 34 in Winnipeg, Canada today for Jim Bertrand. Marcus, welcome, my friend. Glad to have you here today as well. Right, CB's a Steelers fan. He's had some ups and downs. I have Scotty, if he jumps back in here, as a diehard Raiders fan. God bless those guys, right? Those fans. Robert Kermudge in Alaska. Cooler than me. You're at 18.9. We might be warmer now, but I think 17 was the last temperature that I saw on there. I got to be careful where I go with the camera, or you guys are going to see what I've been doing for the last week or so. Karen, welcome. Glad you could make it today. All right. Looks like everybody has checked in. And if I've missed, here's how I like to do this. I like to read the comments, generally speaking, in order, but it's going to be kind of tough today with the cell phone. So if I miss your question, by all means, pop it in again. And if I've already answered it, I'll just skip over it. But I saw Jason in Nikiski. Happy Sunday. Just returned from Minnesota and went to the Vikes game. That's frustrating, man. They should have won that game too. They really should have. Detroit blows my mind, because Detroit should have won, but in pure and true Detroit fashion, they went ahead and they lost their Thanksgiving game, because they pretty much lose every Thanksgiving game. Yeah, I saw that. Heather here is mentioning the earthquakes in the Philippines, and they're having quite a few over there. But it's all part of that Ring of Fire thing, right? We have them here all the time too. But it looked like, unless they've had some big ones, they're just having fives, and 5.0s. Those aren't that bad. They get nerve wracking though when you have multiple earthquakes in a row like that. Jim wants to know how the sourdough baking is. I haven't really done any, because since I've been out of the trailer and in the cabin, I don't really have an oven that I could do it with. But I'm like I said, I'm getting ready to fix that. So I'm getting ready to do something oven wise, so that I could start baking some fresh bread in here again, because I do miss it. I do miss it. Firefly Farm, good to see you. Ray Davis, how are you doing? Julie Cleary, awesome to see you today. Glad that you could catch the live as well. Where's the banjo? The banjo is in the storage room. And the banjo's not coming out. I'm not playing the banjo. I'm not doing that. No, I'm not good enough, nor do I feel comfortable enough trying to do something like that on a live in any way, shape, or form. Lakeside of Grateful, awesome to see you. How are you doing this evening from Southern Ontario? Love to watch it. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. There's been a lot of progress. This last week, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with the last 2 weeks, actually, of progress that I got done in here. Curmudgeon, you guys did. You had a 5 the other day, lasted 30 or 40 seconds, rocked the house pretty good. Growing up in California, I had a whole bunch of earthquakes in that area. Nothing as big as what I've dealt with here. I mean, even the Loma Prieta earthquake was smaller than the 2 big ones we had up here. But it's funny, because for a 5, I won't even pick up a cup of coffee off the chair, because they're not that. They just don't seem to move. But then you can have 5s like that where they just keep going and rock and roll. Ugh. Ugh. Darn it. Brook Trout 1, how are you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Whipple 1, awesome, awesome. Asked me what I want for Christmas. I told her anything but a kilt. What? All right, Whipple. Everybody, just bombard Whipple 1's wife with messages that he wants a kilt for Christmas. AFJ3RD, good evening from South Alabama. Awesome to have you here today, my friend. Jim, you love the cooking and baking videos? Very cool. There's some cooking in next week's video. I'll tell you that. I'm pan frying one of the finest New York steaks I think I've had in a long, long time. And I just go over a couple of tips and tricks on how I do it. It's super, super easy in cast iron. Jess at Bushcraft, Rain Dance Bushcraft. Good to see you, Jess. Awesome to have you here today. The Vineyard Farmhouse, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. Off grid with Jay and Jen. Woot, woot, woot. You didn't miss much other than Sean's having internet issues again. But obviously, I'm not having internet issues, right? Because I'm doing this off my phone and my connection is excellent right now. The problem I'm having is the hotspot connected to the laptop and staying connected. I don't know what causes that. So you can bet when this video is over, I'm going to be Googling some stuff to find out why this is a continuing thing, because my signal today is really good. I mean, I'm looking at the phone and I've got 4 out of 5 bars. Charles and Anlin, we've been there in the Philippines, been lucky to miss the recent earthquakes, mostly south of us. Beto, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. Deborah Thacker, awesome that you can make it today. It's glad that you're catching me live. I got to thank everybody too that shows up for these lives because I enjoy doing them. To me, they're a ton of fun. Let's see if I can pull these off. Can't really see if I do. They're a ton of fun to me because I get to go one-on-one with people real time that may have questions, and I try to answer every single comment that folks leave on my videos. And sometimes I might miss one or two of them, especially if they're not in English because I can't really answer them. I can't really translate them on the phone. So then I have to jump on the laptop and do a translation. Then I've got a viewer from Germany that she leaves all these great comments, but they're in German, and it takes me like days before I can fire up the laptop again to get on there and reply back to her. But I really appreciate you guys showing up for the lives. Curious if you can use sourdough to make a stromboli? Of course you can. Yeah, it's a dough. It'll work. Not a problem at all. Scrolling through. Yeah, well, that'll make a big difference. Curmudgeon, it was only 32 miles from him, that 5.0 in Alaska that we had this week. The house is up off the ground about 4.5 feet, so that'll make a huge difference, especially when they go long like that. When they really start going long like that is when you notice them pretty drastically. The Best Life, welcome. Good to see you today. On to it, Aussie. I think I missed saying hello to you. Jennifer Longval, good to see you. Doug from Cape Cod, Mass. CB, kills are good. Nothing better than that dangly bits getting some fresh air. Destiny, hey Sean, here we go. Are you drywalling the interior walls or something else? Sorry, I can't remember. So I'm not going to drywall like the wall behind me here, or any of the lower walls or the ceiling or the roof. But I am really heavily leaning towards drywalling the entire kitchen now because I want to start building cabinets. And I want to get something behind those cabinets, and drywall is going to be the easiest way that I can do that. So I will probably start drywalling those, and then the bathroom as well, because I want to use the moisture resistant, mold resistant drywall in the bathroom so that I could do something over it when it's done. Joseph saying hello to everybody who keeps saying hello to him. Miri asking the question, I live in the woods and I have a fake tree. There's a reason for that, Mary. I wanted the tree up early. I mean, I really wanted a tree this year. Going forward, more than likely, I will have 2 trees. I will have a fake tree, this one right here, and a real tree. But I wanted a tree up early, and I couldn't figure a way to keep it alive for a month and a half. So that's why I splurged and got the fake tree. Matter of fact, I don't know. I can't really turn this camera around, but I can walk over here and show you. I love that. That is such a pretty tree. And it's got super neat settings. Right now, it kind of goes back and forth from clear white lights to colored lights. And it uses almost no power at all on the OPS 1800 watt portable power station that I have, which is awesome. I could actually run that tree like 2 hours a night for 4 months with the amount of power that it draws on one charge on that OPS. Joanna asks if I use Starlink. Not yet. I'm thinking about going down that road, but I haven't pulled the trigger on that one yet. I normally don't have these kind of problems where I can't connect. Normally, I can just hotspot off my phone. The Texas butterfly, I sent a picture of the Christmas tree to the Facebook page. Very awesome. Thank you very much. Anybody who sends me a picture of their Christmas tree, either via Facebook Messenger at the Sean in Alaska Facebook page or via email, and you can see that in my About section. Starting with this next Friday's video, at the end of the video, I'm going to show everybody's tree, and I'm not going to put your name on it, so don't worry about that. Don't worry about, losing anonymity if you're watching the channel and you don't want people to know. But it's just neat. I love Christmas. I love Christmas trees, so they're going to be at the end of every single video going forward, and then we can just see how everybody else likes to decorate their trees. I think that's beautiful. Jim wants to know if I've had a cull of any of my older chickens. Not yet. They're all laying eggs really, really well. So I won't look at culling a chicken until I get to the point where I see a decrease in the egg production. Now, this time of year, I don't get much in the way of egg production, and that's because I let them naturally cycle. So there's no artificial light, there's no heat or anything in the coop. So as the days get shorter, egg laying, a lot of it is triggered by hours of daylight. And so I might get one or two a week. I'm actually going to have to buy eggs here in a week. I might get one or two eggs a week. Right now, usually by the time I get to them, they're frozen and I can't use them. But until the chicken egg production drops drastically, I don't think that I'll worry about culling any chickens. But that's why I got dual purpose birds, because I don't want to. So with my chickens, they're not, I've had people give me grief at work. They laugh at me all the time and they're your pets. And I go, no, they're not pets. They're livestock. And I got dual purpose birds because as they're laying eggs, I can eat the eggs. I can sell the eggs to folks that live around me who are buying them all the time. And then that will pay for their feed. And then when they get to a certain age where they're not laying anymore, then they'll go in the pot. That's what I got them for. John Friedley, good to see you from the UP of Michigan. Awesome to have you here today. This reminds me of the very first time I went live, which was actually on this property and on this cell phone, but I could see it a lot better inside the cabin than I could outside under the trees. Jonathan, what's happening, my friend? Jim, Starlink works really well up here in Alaska too. But if I don't need it, it's just another monthly bill that I really don't want to have. And like I said, this is not a usual thing for me. Normally, I haven't had any issue at all streaming. So I'm hoping that this is just a temporary thing, and I'm hoping that it might have something to do with the solar maximum that we're going through right now, which is causing the incredible amount of northern lights up here. Doug Snelling, welcome, my friend. Glad to have you here today. Join us in the East or the deep woods of East Texas. Your internet was hit and miss until you went to Starlink. Yeah, Starlink's awesome. I believe me, I would jump on it in a heartbeat if I really, really needed it. And I think that when I do, it's going to be incredible because I'll be able to stream everything I want to watch. I won't have to use the hotspot on the phone at all. Sunshine, welcome. Awesome to see you today. Thank you for that. The thumbs up. And why is it important to give a thumbs up when you're watching a live video? Because it lets YouTube know that you're enjoying your content. And then they say, he's still live, suggest it to other people. So I greatly appreciate every thumbs up I get. CK, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. Everybody saying hi back and forth. Maybe your malware or antivirus on your computer would cause connection issues. Just a random guess. Normally I would say you might be right, but on my laptop, I don't have any malware or antivirus stuff. And the reason why is because I do not download anything on that laptop. I don't do any shady stuff on this laptop at all. I do all that on the phone. $10 J, welcome. Good to see you today. My plans for the outside of the cabin, I've got a bunch of them, but there'll be a garden for sure next spring. Definitely a garden for sure. The best life. Real trees are overrated. Yes and no. And you can't beat the smell of a real tree. When I bought this one, they had these little fake hanging things that you could put on your tree. Smells like a real tree, and I opened it up, and it didn't smell like any tree I've ever seen before. But I love the smell of a real tree. I don't mind the cleanup of it. You drop the needles; it's not a big deal. And I can buy like noble firs and stuff up here. There's places that sell those trees that I could get. But the smell of a tree is just something to have. Full throttle. Do you grow your own weed? I do not. I actually don't even smoke pot. My kids do, but that's not my never been my thing. I'm a beer drinker and a whiskey drinker, and I only do that when I'm at home. You know, I might have one beer in town, but yeah, I never got into that myself. But I could if I wanted to. Alaska's real lenient on that. It's completely legal here. Jim from upstate South Carolina. I spent 4 wonderful years in Kodiak in the late '70s. Still miss it. God bless all Kodiaks. That's a beautiful place. Kodiak's a gorgeous place. CV drywall behind the cabinets is the easiest way. You aren't going to see it any other anyways. Exactly. That was my thought. Is like I want to have something behind there, and drywall will be the simplest and easiest thing that I do. And then if I won't have to tape it or texture it or do any of that stuff. If I put it up, I might have to tape the seams above the lower cabinets, because I'll do a tile backsplash behind it all, and it'll just make it super super simple. Then I could put a good coat of durable paint on it, something that I can wipe down and wash off real easy. Robert, welcome, my friend. Good to see you today. Miri, don't get me wrong, it's pretty, right? I know. I love Christmas trees. And it is beautiful. It is a beautiful little tree. And that's the other thing too, is that they are safer next to a wood stove. So yeah. But I could put this Christmas tree up in my eventual bedroom out the side of the cabin here. Or I could put a real tree up in my bedroom that's going to go outside the cabin here and keep the fake tree out here. So I could have two Christmas trees. I love Christmas. I love Christmas. That is awesome. Put the tree up today. The kids are very cool. Very cool. Beto, Sean in Alaska, what time is it now? It's 9:08 p.m. Where you are, it's 3:15 p.m. here. That means I'm probably a little behind. Neo North, what's happening, my friend? Good to see you today. Awesome that you can make it. Great, thanks, Robert. Yeah, send me a picture later, and then I'll put it in the end roll on the videos. I do this every year, and I believe Christmas this year is actually on a Saturday. Doesn't really matter. I will be live Christmas Day. I'll let you guys know more as we get closer to it. Usually I go live for like 3 or 4 hours and just hang out with folks on Christmas. Like I said, my family's not here, so I kind of go live just in case there's folks out there that don't have family to hang with, and we can all hang out together, enjoy our Christmas. Tink, good to see you. Glad you can make it today. Jennifer or Doug, actually, I think now. What's the measurement of your cabin in feet? Thanks for the great videos. Thank you very much for that. It's 20 by 24. So it is 20 feet wide and 24 feet deep. And then the loft upstairs is roughly about 12 feet by 20 feet. Yeah, multi-purpose birds are, right, I think, the way to go. If you're going to raise hens and you're interested in the meat from them as well. Trail Camp Pete, awesome to see you, my friend. Glad you could make it today. Thank you very much, Pete. Appreciate that. Mike G from Canmore, Saskatoon. Awesome to see you, my friend. Is that Saskatoon or Saskatchewan? It's probably Saskatchewan. Yeah, you've got Curmudgeon's got Starlink at his place, and when I watched them live, it was crystal clear. It was fantastic. Smiley, good to see you, my friend. How are you doing today? Mike McKinley. Very nice Christmas tree. We don't have any snow yet here in Ontario, Canada. You'll get it. Hopefully you'll have everybody. I hope everybody who wants one gets a white Christmas. You did. You caught me live, my friend. Trudy, welcome. Glad you made another live. I'm doing fantastic. Watching from Georgia. Very cool. Struggling to focus in this hot, humid weather. It's definitely a struggle every summer. I need coffee to wake up, probably. I say hello to y'all. That's one of the things that's kind of mind blowing to me. Is I'm in the northern hemisphere. She's in the southern hemisphere. So at Christmas, she has my summer temperatures, and during the middle of my summer, she has cold weather. So that's one of the cool things about doing this whole YouTube channel for me is the people that I've met have just been phenomenal from all over the world. Just super, super nice. Suzanne's Sweet Kitchen, awesome to see you. How are you doing, Suzanne? I did, Russ. I tried to reboot the laptop. It didn't make any difference whatsoever. None. I rebooted the laptop. didn't matter. I rebooted the phone, didn't matter. I don't know what it is. It could just be too that I've got a lot of electronic stuff going right around this area, and I might have to move things around. Um, but we'll have to see after the live's over today. I'll jump on the internet and see what I can't find out. Destiny wants to know what material I will use to finish the exterior. It's a combination right now of metal and wood. That's kind of where I'm leaning right now, metal and wood. That can change until I actually do it, right? Cigar Prepper, how you doing, my friend? I'm sure you're living your dream. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I am. I'm living my dream. That's for darn sure. It's been just phenomenal since day one for me. Aaron Klinger from Clam Gulch, Alaska. Very cool. Awesome to have you here today, neighbor. Charles and Annalyn have not seen a real tree here. That's because they make them there and they ship them all to us, right? No, I think the box on my tree said it came from Cambodia. That's what I thought, Mike. I don't know why I said Saskatoon to begin with, but Saskatchewan afterwards. Kyle, good to see you, my friend. Glad to see you here. Everybody's talking about the tree, which is awesome. There's Big Joe. How you doing, brother? Finally got Kaylin in the same room to watch a live stream. Hi, Kaylin. Good to see you. You've been sending me messages, so I'm assuming, hopefully, you're sending me a picture of your guys' tree this year. You like the pattern on the curtain? So this one, these were blankets that I had hanging up over the windows in the trailer, and I forgot I had them sitting on the couch over here. This one is it's got moose and it's got trees and it's got bears and it's kind of my little Alaska blanket. They're cozy, but I'm gonna leave them up and see what kind of a difference it makes on the temperature. Because I'm not gonna lie, it has gotten chilly in here a couple of times, but nowhere near as cold as it got in the trailer. Forrest, good to see you, my friend. I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking. Smiley 1215 in Ireland. Oh, sure now, and you're breaking my heart over there. The greatest experience I think I have ever had in my life, next to obviously doing what I'm doing right now, was when my brother and I went to Ireland in 2019 and um, got to see the village where my family's from, in Least Coghill, Drumcarran in County Leitrim, and um, just had an absolute blast. And Smiley, I met while I was over there, which was super cool because we just ran into each other. I think that's actually the first time we ever met. And I told him I had a YouTube channel. We met at the Tullamore Dew Distillery in Tullamore, Ireland, which was awesome because I was there with my brother sipping some of the finest whiskey I've ever had. I am, my friend. I am. Okay, Christmas. Ray is saying Christmas is on Sunday, which is even better because that means Sean has Saturday and Sunday off. So I'll probably go live on Friday, and I'll probably go live again on Sunday. If everything works out right and I can figure out this issue, we'll definitely be there. Christmas is on Monday there. Yep, that makes sense. Anne O'Brien, good to see you. From the southeast coast of Ireland. Very cool. What county are you in, Anne? For those that aren't familiar with how Ireland is laid out, right? It's, obviously up and down, and you've all seen probably a map of it. But County Leitrim is kind of off the coast. It's on the eastern side, the northeastern side before you get to Northern Ireland. And it's right next to Sligo. At least our village is in Leitrim. That'll be even better. Okay, I'm gonna have to check my calendar. Jim's saying that it's on Monday this year, so I'm gonna have to check, which would be even better because that means Sean gets 3 days off in a row. Because that's the only day that the store that I work at actually closes is Christmas Day. Other than that, we're open every day. Smiley's from Westmeath. What will be on my Christmas menu? You and your husband are making bison prime rib. If I cook dinner for a group of people for Christmas, which a lot of times I do, usually Christmas Eve we get together and we have pizza. But then we usually do a big Christmas dinner. If we do the big Christmas dinner, I cook and it's always prime rib. Okay, Joseph's telling me it's on a Monday. Awesome. That means Sean gets 3 days in a row. That's very cool. Wow, Joseph, 20-year-old daughter, huh? That's my oldest daughter turned 30, and I thought, man, I'm old. Yeah, Ray, you don't want a white Christmas if you live in Texas, my friend. I was in Texas during an ice storm. I was in Dallas during an ice storm one time, and it was the nastiest, slickest sidewalks and streets I've ever dealt with in my life. Well, it'll get over 100 degrees there. Well, yeah, you're in Australia. You're no, I don't think you guys are ever going to have a white Christmas. Okay, to not point out the language, but careful, Mike, with that. Um, every week that I do this, I try to tweak the commercials so that they go less and less and less. And if you guys have a problem with the getting bombarded by commercials, let me know. Because if I have to, I'll just turn them off completely. I will definitely just say forget it and turn them off completely. I'll set them for such a high number that hopefully it'll never happen. But I keep turning that setting down so that it's less and less and less. And I'm hoping we get to a point where it's not a bad situation. Brady, welcome. Good to see you. I always want to wait Christmas, but that doesn't happen often. It does. It will happen sometime though, right? Because you're in BC, you will see them on occasion, but it's pretty rare, and I imagine it's a nightmare when it does. Ekati, welcome. Glad you can make it today. Right, Smiley? And it's a beautiful tree. They do great work, right? I can pop that in there to you, and you can watch the lights as they change. These are LED lights that are on the tree, and they just go from white to multicolored to white to multicolored. It's pretty. I love that tree. Scotty, it's Scotty's Backyard Barbecue. What's happening, my friend? If you guys need an idea for what to cook for Christmas dinner or how to prepare it, check out Scotty's website at Scotty's Backyard Barbecue, because that man does some crazy stuff on the grill. And everything he's cooked, I gain weight just looking at it. It looks yummy. He just made canned hams, which I'm a huge fan of because we grew up with canned hams when I was a kid. They were always around. They were always in the store. He just smoked some canned hams, and they were beautiful when they were done. Todd, true. The trees are all frosted outside as well because we've had nothing but ice fog for the last 2 or 3 days, it seems like. Todd is the guy that helped me with the roof and the videos. He's my neighbor across the street. Sean, Inside Canadian Joke. Mike from Canmore, Alberta was a weekly sitcom character. Mike from Kenora or. Ah, very cool. Lisa K, I think you were in here earlier and I didn't get a chance to say hello to you, but I did see you. Welcome. I'm glad you're here today. Finishing the cleaning, then he put the tree up. I agree with you. Fresh natural trees are the best. Yeah, they are. I'm going to scroll through here pretty quick. D.E. Williams, exactly. D.E. Williams in Tullamore. I had, it was a 12 or 15-year-old single malt Tullamore that I would have sold my children for. Not my grandkids, because I really like them. But yeah, it was so yummy. And um, it is my sipping whiskey of choice. I probably sip 1 dram of it a week, and it's just delicious to me. Huggy Dog, has inflation had much of an effect on life in Alaska? Not that I would notice. The price of stuff up here can be expensive. I mean, we pay a lot for lumber, but groceries aren't that bad. I came here from California, and California's prices are pretty high. So the prices here in Alaska are very comparable to California prices. Rents are cheaper, property's cheaper, um, but fresh produce can be pretty expensive up here for good quality stuff. Other than that, not a big deal. Mitchell's in Alaska. Glad you can make it. That is a great channel, guys. Go check them out. Definitely check them out. Jill, welcome. Glad you can make it today. Uh, okay, everybody, I got to get caught up. I must be way behind because I'm seeing everybody still talking about the Christmas day. And you're in County Wexford, the land of crystal. Very awesome. And Christmas on a Monday. My brother worked Thanksgiving and Christmas in the hospital. I work Thanksgiving every year, Brady. I do. I work it because I'm by myself, and I figure if somebody else can have the day off that has family, that's better. And I don't mind working it. But Christmas, like I said, we're closed now. Your brother, who's in a hospital, they never close. There's always something to do, and I take my hat off to people like that. Jim, my oldest will be 48 in February. Wow, you got me beat. And Whit, good to see you. Glad you can make it today. Heather Mitchell's in Australia. Oh, Freudian slip. My two boys are both in their late 40s. My oldest is turning 50 on New Year's Eve. Wow. Yeah, my mom had three sons that were 60 years old before she passed. Jeff Grady, awesome to see you, my friend. And you haven't gotten a single commercial yet, and the last live you got dozens. Good. So hopefully it's working. Turning them down. Curmudgeon's going to do roast duck for Christmas this year. Jim's going to head to southern Arizona for Christmas until April. Snow's not an issue. Mountain Mariner, how you doing, my friend? Happy 3rd of December to you as well. Another great channel here in Alaska. So yeah, Destiny, it's a new thing YouTube's trying, and YouTube is got to make money. And then when we create videos, when you get to a certain point, you can make money as well. So in an effort for them to generate more cash, that's what they're doing. All businesses do something to generate more cash. So the lives having commercials are relatively new, and I'm still trying to deal with how to do it. I only do lives for so many months out of the year, usually just during the winter months. But there are other YouTube channels that do it quite a bit, so it's got to be kind of nerve-wracking for them. I love how you say across the street in the middle of nowhere. Street in Ireland is in there's a street out here, Smiley, and literally Todd lives across that street and down the road a bit. But yeah, he's in Ireland or in Alaska. You don't measure anything by how many miles it is to get there or kilometers or any of that stuff. In Ireland, you measure it by how many hours it takes to get there. So it's like, hey, are you going to the state fair? Yeah, I think I'll go up there. It only takes 4 or 5 hours to get there. So yeah, we'll go. Literally, that's the way we do things up here. Or we give directions by the mile post. It's at mile marker 53.6. And then to start looking for the turn when you see the mile marker that says 53.6. Darth Vader's got a great point here, and Lord Vader, welcome. YouTube Premium's $13.99 a month. He hasn't seen a commercial in 3 years, and they've got some great movies on YouTube because I watch the movies on there, but I don't mind the commercials during the movies. As a kid growing up, we had commercials, and we always called those the time to run to the bathroom and grab a snack out of the kitchen. Oh, that is awesome. 7 more likes to hit 100? That'd probably be the most likes I think I've ever had on a live. Very cool. And Jay and Jen just signed up themselves a month or two ago. I might actually do it myself. Peggy Garcia, hi from Ohio. Love the snow you have up there. Wish we had some down here. Love the tree. Those curtains are different. Oh, they're not really curtains. They're blankets. Thank you very much. They were just there because I had this great plan of how this live was going to run today. And of course, man plans, God laughs, right? Yeah, didn't work. Exactly. Hospital workers, firefighters, policemen, those first responders never get a break, right? They never get a break, and they earn every penny that they make. Most of them don't make enough. Your oldest will be 43 in a week or so. Wow. I started late in life, but I laugh, now as I look at how old my kids are, and then they start to complain to me about, man, Dad, I woke up this morning and I twisted something, and I go, oh, what'd you do? Sit up? Kyle, we're enjoying a nice glass of Buffalo Trace bourbon. Very yummy, very yummy. And while your chicken bakes, I've got a chuck roast going. So for those I didn't show it to earlier or who got here a little later, I'll take you there and I'll I really don't want you to see what's over there yet. I'll show you what I got going on in here. Normally I do, so I've got a recipe for chuck roast um, on the channel that I do in the oven. But like I said, I didn't really want to mess with the oven today. So I've got this Lodge pot. And the only thing I did different with this one, it's cooking up nice. It is cooking up nice. So the only thing I did different with this one was I went ahead and grab a bottle of water while I'm in here. Was I started the pot, got the pot hot, and then I used a little bit of olive oil and butter in the bottom, and I kind of seared or browned off the chuck roast on both sides, and then I did everything else the same. After it was seared and browned off, I took a little bit of I took a half of the onion and I sautéed it a bit in the drippings that were left because I pulled the chuck out. Sautéed it a bit in the drippings that were left in there, and then a package of Lipton onion soup mix and some water in there to make like an onion broth. Put the chuck roast back in there and then put onions back over the top. So we'll see how that one turns out compared to the way that I usually make it, but it's smelling pretty delicious. Destiny wants to know, when I get around to installing the wood burner, where will it be in your cabin, Sean? Well, Destiny, it will be right there. And there's a sneak peek of what I'm working on now. So see that right there? That's Durarock, and that's the backing for the wood stove. So I'm actually starting to work on that this week. I got a donation. Awesome. Thank you very much, Smiley. Greatly appreciated. He says, I would appreciate a shout out for the channel, The Wandering Irishman. He does Leitrim and Sligo. You'll love it, Sean. Very cool. I don't know. Did that come up? I don't know if anybody saw that. Yeah, there we go. I got it to come up. I greatly appreciate that, my friend. That is awesome. Jump back in again. I think I'm caught up. Holy smokes. I don't know how that happened. Henry Leslie, Vermont, 33 degrees, 33 degrees and snowing there. Very cool. I love the snow. I love winter. Don't get me wrong. I love summer too, but winter is like just a nice break, right? It allows me, I don't know what it does for you, but it allows me to center who I am, to kind of reestablish my mentality for the year and make the plans for the next year. It's a good break. I think we all need that break. No matter what we're doing or who we are, whether we live in a city or the country, it's a nice pause for everything else. Danny from Florida, but I did live in Maine and missed the seasons. Welcome. Good to have you here, Danny. I don't know what I did here. I hit a button, but I'm just going to let that go. Karen Hawley, welcome. Good to see you. Holy smokes. Frozen young goose last year at Publix for $90 for a goose. That's crazy. The Wandering Irishman is handsome, so I'll have to subscribe. All Irishmen are handsome, Destiny. I can't believe you didn't know that in advance. I am Irish. Well, I'm an American, but of Irish descent and Sicilian. So much over the last few years, Sean. I love it. It's been incredible. I have more energy, it seems like, every single year now than I had the year before, which kind of blows my mind, because before I started doing this, I was not as focused and positive, and I didn't have as much energy as I have now. I mean, 10 years ago, I was not as energetic as I am now. Joseph, I prefer winter in Florida. Public subs, nice. That's crazy. 150 for a goose? That is crazy. Karen wants to know if the family and the grandbabies are doing well. They're doing fantastic. I video chat. So for those that don't know, I have 2 daughters and I have 4 grandkids. And I video chat with them all at least once a week. So the granddaughter, I probably video chat with even more because she'll steal her mom's phone, run into the other room, and call grandpa. uh, but yeah, I'm truly blessed on that front. Incredibly wonderful children and incredibly wonderful and intelligent grandchildren. Just super happy. PTL Fabrication just installed a wood burner in your garage today. Tested it out. Works great. Awesome. Very cool. And welcome. It's 33 there too, but that's a whole different 33 than we're having right up here in the northern hemisphere. 33 degrees Celsius. That's got to be close to 100, isn't it? 100, close to 100 Fahrenheit? Yes. Irish women and German women are beautiful too. My grandmother was part German. So I'm Irish, Sicilian, German, and French. Um, so dad was 100% Irish and mom was Sicilian, German, and French. And my mom was beautiful. So yeah, don't sell yourself short on that. Jeff, a frigid 70. I just became a grandmother to my granddog. He's part bloodhound. That is awesome. 40 is 100F. Okay. So 40 is 100F. And when we go in the negatives, I believe when we hit minus 40 Fahrenheit, that is equal to minus 40 Celsius as well. I thank you. I thank you very much, Karen. I'm telling you, Smiley, she could turn heads. Mom was a looker. Mom was a beautiful woman, inside and out. CK, if you send me an email, I don't want to say any address or any stuff like that. I don't have a PO box, but I have a standalone mailbox that's like a mile and a half from my property. So if you send me a message on the Facebook group or just a quick email, I'd be more than happy to respond back to you with an address. Chris Murnane had a good night in the boozers listening to your spiel. Thanks. Awesome, man. Lindsay Salmons, good to see you, my friend. I'm doing fantastic. I hope you're doing well. In the interior? Well, you know what? As much grief as this thing has been, it's pretty awesome that I could do this on a cell phone and it's kind of worked. Okay, Heather says I'm correct on the minus 40s, and she pointed out that 33 is 91F for all of us. Jerry Canadian, good to see you, my friend. Okay, you guys want a sneak peek? Just tell me if you want a sneak peek, and I'll give you a quick sneak peek of what I kind of did here this week. And I'm going to do it without actually lighting it, so it won't be that great of a view. You guys want to see it? Let me know. Okay, here. There it is. There's the sneak peek. That's it. It's right over my shoulder. Did you see it? It's right. Oh, I pointed the wrong way. It's right there. That's a sneak peek. It's beautiful. When you see it in the video next Friday, you're going to be excited. It's gorgeous. It turned out every bit as much as I imagined, as well as I imagined it would. Right, that was just the one piece, and I'm not done with it, by any means. So you guys didn't see everything else that went with it. Did I miss Russ? Did I miss Russell? Where's Russell? Did I miss him? How did I miss Russell? Oh, there he is. I don't want a sneak peek if it's under the kilt. Russell! Okay, let's get back over here. No, it's actually shiplap. I thought it was tongue and groove when I pulled the first board down at the orange store, and it turned out it was shiplap. So even easier. I put flooring on the walls. Good use of cheap material. No, that's not flooring. It's all softwood anyway. Very cool. Knock off Bailey's Irish Cream. When I was a kid, Mom used to make Kahlua. Russell doesn't want to sneak peek out of the sporin. Craig Porter from Homer, Alaska. How you doing, my friend? We need to thrash the Kenai together next summer. Let's catch some fish, man. Let's jerk some lips down there on that river. I'm a river fisherman. I get asked a lot about dip netting, and I went once, and it was fun. But I fish by myself most of the time. So, or I've got a couple of people like Susan. She always comes down. She's a school teacher uh, up in the Palmer area, and she always comes down and fishes with me. And we do charter fishing trips together. She loves to fish, but man, I'm more of a river guy than I ever will be. Standing next to 300 people walking out into the inlet with a net. It is. The shiplap was super easy to put up. Danny, pour me a Black Russian drink. It looked like the flooring. Well, yes and no. I mean, it's kind of got the same stain pattern in it. So for those that are relatively new and haven't seen it, I could probably show you this. You can probably see this. So see that up there? That's blue stain pine, and that's knotty pine, tongue and groove. Uh, and the stuff on the wall is also blue stained, and that's the only blue stain that I'm going to do in the cabin because it's a much darker wood, and I don't want the inside of the cabin to be dark. I want it to be bright, so it's like an accent wall. Those two cabinets up top, and then the wall in the back are an accent to everything else I have planned. The floor, on the other hand, is hickory, so it's a much lighter color, but I plan on going even lighter than that in the kitchen, almost a white wood look floor in the kitchen and the bathroom to brighten both of those rooms up because those rooms you want lighter anyway. Where was I at here? Okay, there's Craig. Shape of wood, look like the flooring. There we go. Tafalcherot! Konasatatu, Chris. My Irish is very I don't know that much of it. Right, exactly. Exactly, Tink. You can't beat the real fur fragrance for sure. It's yum, yum, yum. I love the smell of it. In the interior, it's a nice and cozy 10 degrees below zero in Fairbanks. It's rather a warm day. We've had a mild winter so far this year. I mean, very mild. But that said, I was watching um, Simple Living Alaska, and they went fishing. And Eric and Ariel, this will be their first winter in the interior. And where they're at, it gets bitter cold. And uh, when they were get ready to take off and go on their fishing trip, they were staying at a public use cabin. They loaded up their snow machines on the back of the trailer, and as he was driving down, the axles of the trailer on the rear were actually frozen solid. He had to thaw them out before they can go anywhere. So they're in for a bit of a surprise because the interior temperatures are brutal when they get there. So right now we're having great temperatures. Yeah, I picked up some varathane, and I'm going to do that upstairs and see. I've got a couple of pieces that I haven't put up, that are just loose pieces, and I'm going to try it on there and see how it works out. I didn't actually get varathane. I forget what it's called. Polyurethane. And I'm gonna go ahead and try that on there and see how it looks when it's done before I decide to do the whole thing. But I probably will seal it. I probably won't leave it natural. I agree. The floor is going to look beautiful, and what I have planned for the hearth is for the fireplace is just going to launch that floor right off. It's going to be beautiful. Smiley, as always, my friend, good to see you and glad you could pop in for this evening. Have yourself a fantastic day. And if I don't see you before then, Merry Christmas to you. So shiplap has um, like a piece on the back and a piece on the front. So it just layers over the piece below it. So it's got like a tongue that sticks up, and then the piece that you put over the top of it has a tongue that sticks down. Whereas tongue and groove actually goes in between two slats. Chris, on the other hand, speaks a great deal more Irish than I do because I can't type it very well either. I do listen to Radio na Gaeltacht, so I do listen to RNA on the internet here at the cabin every Sunday night, all night long. I love it. I love the language. The language is the most beautiful language I've ever heard spoken. My friend put a white hardwood into her tiny post World War II home, and boy, did that look great! Right? Yeah. The some about if you can lighten up the floors and you can lighten up the ceiling, you can brighten a whole room up. It's incredible. I do too, Smiley. They're wonderful people. They are wonderful people. I knew they moved. I'm not sure where to. Looks like it's the Toke area. Um, yeah, from what I understand, it is the Toke area. And for those who are not familiar, if 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 you want to follow any page on Facebook, follow the Toke Alaska page, TOK, and you will see the most brutally cold temperatures you've ever seen in your life. I mean, we're talking, it's nothing for them to talk about. It's a warm day today. It's only 53 below zero. It's, and that's ambient air. That's not wind chill. It's crazy cold in Toke, but it's also unbelievably beautiful in the summer. Do I think that this summer I'll do the siding on the outside of the cabin? Sand Dollar J is asking. So, yes, I will do part of it, and I'm going to go a little long, guys. I'm going to go until 4 o'clock because I had planned originally to go from 3 to 4, and I started things early because I was having issues with the laptop. I will get part of the siding done this summer. I don't know if I will get it all done, but I will get uh, half of it done this summer because I already know what I want to do with half of it, and I can do that pretty easily at a reasonable cost. I know what I want to do with the wood part of it, but that's going to cost me a bit more. Kenai Castor is in Mexico. Nice. You down there fishing? Yeah, I know you're down there fishing, man. Awesome to see you. Curmudgeon, we're going to do birch floors. You have to mill it all first. Then it's going to have to dry for a few years before you can plane it and groove it. Yeah, and that'll be beautiful, man. That'll be gorgeous. Do you have a mill, Robert? I didn't know you had a mill. That is awesome. Polly will turn the pine really yellow over time. And that's what I'd read, but I think that yellow with the blue coming through and the red, because there's red colors in that wood as well, that could look pretty cool. That could look pretty neat, Angie. Jay and Jen, we use Minmax water-based pulley in the tongue and groove, and you're happy with it. Okay, well, I mean, we got kind of the same wood. So Jay, I'll shoot you off a message here in the next day or two because I'm curious exactly what product you used. And if you remember, I would love to know. I'd love hickory floors or hickory floors. Previous owner laid down my kitchen cabinets, have hickory doors that sold. Oh, nice. Yeah. Hickory's a beautiful wood. The colors are just fantastic. So the go with siding in Alaska, nobody ever, well, I don't know about other countries, but most of the Alaska cabins up here, for the longest time, it was simply due to property taxes. So if your cabin wasn't finished, if you didn't have the siding on your cabin was considered unfinished, and you didn't have the increase in property taxes of the finished cabin on your property. So that was it for the longest time. But to be honest, the siding doesn't add much in the way of R value at all. So it's like, okay, I have other things to do. I mean, when summer hits here in Alaska and we're outside working, we also want to be fishing and camping and, doing as much of the things as we can do because we know that, basically from September or late September or early October until May, we're going to be buried in snow. So It's like the last thing that anybody does that builds their own place is actually put the siding on it. Later, Chris. Good to have you here today. Awesome to have you, my friend. Toke is beautiful. I don't know if I know I talked about it. I don't think you were here last week, Lindsay, but that was one of the first areas I looked at buying property at when I first moved up here. Um, or when I even before I moved up here, was I was looking at Toke. I mean, look at that. Is that beautiful or what? I'm not going to try and pronounce it, but it's a beautiful language. Slangafoil or Slangafoil. When I say slan. Jess tried to take Irish when he was younger. The spoken and written were clearly designed by different committees sitting on opposite sides of the island with no phone. There is so much to be said for that. So there is there's an app that you can get for your phone, and I'm drawing a complete blank on it right now, but I think their logo is like an owl. Um, and they have Irish on there, and so they have written Irish and speaking Irish, and it's super awesome. So with that, and listening to Radio Nageltalk, Irish radio, all in Irish, then with those two combined, I can actually hear it spoken, and I could see it written on the app. Duolingo. Duolingo is the app that had it. But I agree, Jess. I bought books on Irish when I was younger to try and teach myself, and I had no I'm like, how do you even begin to understand this? Smiley, great to see you as well, my friend. We got about 5 minutes left, guys. So if you got any super pressing questions, by all means, throw them into the chat now. Okay, Ange, yeah, just shoot them off to me. I would greatly love to see those pictures. Scrolling through here to make sure. There we go. Okay. Brooke Trout wants to know how much is property there if you're not on water, 1,000 acre in the UP of Michigan. It depends on where you're at and how good the ground is. It's nothing to buy a couple of acres down here on the Kenai Peninsula for 50,000. A couple of nice, maybe 3 to 5 nice acres down here for 50 grand. And then its access is also a big deal. So are you on the road system or are you not on the road system? That makes a big difference. The prices vary up here drastically depending on where you look. Okay, yeah, Jess, it's Duolingo, using it for Swedish. Very cool. Gaelic Irish is much harder to learn than Latin. You know what? It probably is too. And I think part of that is because a lot of the words in the English language and the other European nations are all Latin based. There's a lot of Latin based words in there. So they're words that we're familiar with. Whereas Irish is, Irish Gaelic, there's like three types of languages of the Celtic nations, if I remember this correctly. There's Gaelic. Well, there's the Gaelic that the Irish and the Scottish speak, and then there's Cornish, and then there's Manx, Manx. If I got that right. Leslie, if I ever get back into hunting again, I might take you up on that. I just can't see shooting an animal that's so big that that's all I'll have to have in my freezer for 1.5 to 2 years. Awesome. Okay, so Smiley said that was it. Perfect. We don't speak Gaelic in Ireland. We speak Gaeliga. Lindsay, I'll split it with you if you want. I think that's about the only way that I'll get back into it again is if I ask some other folks to split it with. Karen wants to know if I ever see any moose. I have them in my yard all the time. So yeah, I see moose every day. Every day that I go to work, I see moose. Every day that I drive the road into town, because I live 16 miles out of town, but every day that I drive into town, I see moose. So Let's team up. We can split the moose. I'm more interested in goat, man. I'm a sheep guy. Man, I love dull sheep. I love that meat. That is delicious stuff. Jinx Curmudge. All right, folks, we're just about to the end of it here now. We got about 2 minutes left. I want to thank you all for joining me. As always, I want to thank you for the constant support that we've had, or that I've had here at the channel from day one. It's been fantastic. And I can't thank you guys enough. If you have a Christmas tree and you want to get the picture of your Christmas tree shared on one of my videos, and they stay up there forever, right? I'm going to be at the end of every video from now until the end of the year. I will go ahead and have the Christmas trees tailed off at the end. And I just think it's fun to share the pictures of everybody's different designs for Christmas. Super, super neat. It's going to do it for me, you guys. Have yourself a fantastic evening. I'm going to get in there and clean up what's going on with dinner, get it all ready to go. And I hope you have a fantastic week. Thanks as always for watching. I'm Sean in Alaska, and have yourself a great, great week. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.